this lecture, we will discuss more problems on Coulomb's law and superposition principle. Let us start. Two small identical conducting spheres have charges of 2 into 10 to the minus 9 coulomb and minus 0.4 into 10 to the minus 9 coulomb respectively. When they are placed 4 centimeter apart, what is the force between them? If they are brought into contact and then separated by 4 centimeter, what is the force between them? Solution. It is based on Coulomb's law. F equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught mod of Q1 Q2 by R square equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9. Q1 is 2 into 10 to the minus 9 coulomb into magnitude of Q2 is 0.4 into 10 to the minus 9 coulomb divided by R is 4 centimeter in meter, that is 4 into 10 to the minus 2 square. This is equal to 0.45 into 10 to the minus 5 equal to 4.5 into 10 to the minus 6 Newton. Second case, the two charges are brought into contact. So initially charge are Q1 Q2. When they are brought into contact, total charge is Q1 plus Q2, and then they shared equally. So charge of each sphere is Q equal to Q1 plus Q2 divided by 2 into 10 to the minus 9 coulomb minus 0.4 into 10 to the minus 9 coulomb divided by 2. This is equal to 0.8 into 10 to the minus 9 coulomb. Now these two charges are separated out and then they placed 4 centimeter apart. The force between them is now F dash equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught mod of Q1 dash into Q2 dash divided by R square is equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9 into 0.8 into 10 to the minus 9 coulomb into 0.8 into 10 to the minus 9 coulomb, both are equal charge, divided by 4 into 10 to the minus 2 square. The value is 3.6 into 10 to the minus 6 Newton. Identical isolated conducting spheres 1 and 2 have equal charge and are separated by a distance that is large compared with their diameters. The electrostatic force acting on sphere 2 due to 1 is F. Suppose now that a third identical sphere, identical uncharged, that is uncharged, identical sphere 3 having an insulating handle and initially neutral uncharged is tossed first to sphere 1 then to sphere 2 and finally removed. In terms of magnitude F, what is the magnitude of the electrostatic force F dash that now acts on sphere 2? So the diagrams is, first this is your sphere 1 and this is your sphere 2. Both spheres are charged likely, so they repel each other, and the force is, that is force on 2 due to 1 is F and force on 1 due to 2 is, that is minus F. They are equal and opposite. Suppose the separation between the two charge center to center, that is R. So your F is equal to K, this is the charge, this is your Q and this is also Q. So that is K Q square by R square. So this is the force initially. Now another charge 3, which is neutral, is tossed with 1. So 1 is charged with Q and 3 is that is uncharged initially. This is your charge Q and this is your uncharged, that is 0. So total charge is Q. Now this Q is shared equally. So this charge Q is divided by 2 here, so that is Q by 2. This is your Q by 2. Now the third charge is removed and it is tossed with the second charge sphere. Second charge sphere has charge Q. So now this is charge sphere 2 possess charge Q and 3 possess charge Q by 2. And the sphere 1 has charge Q by 2. From this case we know that is Q by 2. So now when 2 and 3 are contact, total charge is now 3Q by 2. 3Q by 2. Now the charge shared equally between 2 and 3. So 2 possess charge 3Q by 4 and charge 3 also possess 3Q by 4 after sharing equally. Then the sphere 3 is removed. Now sphere 1 possess charge Q by 2, sphere 2 possess charge 3Q by 4 and they are separated by the same distance, that is R, center to center. Now force F dash, magnitude of force F dash is equal to K Q by 2 into 3Q by 4. This is equal to K 3Q square by 8, that is 3 by 8 into divided by this is your R square. This is R square. So 3 by 8 K Q square by R square. So 3 by 8 F. So F dash is equal to 3 by 8 times F. Next problem is two fixed particles of charges Q1 equal to plus 8Q and Q2 equal to minus 2Q are L centimeter apart. How far from each should be third charge be located so that no electrostatic force acts on it? The situation is, suppose this is the x-axis and this is the origin O. Q1 is placed at O, Q1 equal to plus 8Q and Q2 equal to minus 2Q and distance of Q2 from Q1 is, that is L centimeter. Where should the third charge be located so that electrostatic force on them is 0? So three possible cases may arise. Third charge may be placed between these two charges or left of Q1 or right of Q2, but where the force is 0. So let us first see first case. The charge is suppose placed between Q1 and Q2. Suppose this is the third charge Q. Here Q1 is positive and Q2 is negative. So force on capital Q due to Q1 is, that is towards right. This is F1. And force on Q due to Q2 is also, that is towards right. This is your F2. So F1 and F2 both are along same direction. So they do not cancel each other. So net force is not 0 at this point. So this case is not possible. This case is not possible. Then second option is, let the third charge be placed on the left of Q1. This is your Q1 and this is your Q2. We place capital Q on the left of Q1. Now force on Q due to Q1. Q1 is positive. So this force is, that is towards left F1. And Q2 is negative. Q2 is minus 2Q, that is negative. So here the force is towards right. So this is your F1, F2. But here F1 is more than F2. So they do not cancel each other. So this case is also not possible. And the last option is that the charge is placed on the right of Q2. So here Q1 is plus 8Q and Q2 is minus 2Q. So force on Q due to Q1 is towards right, force of repulsion. So this is your F1, and Q2 is negative, so that means force is towards left, so this force is F2. So F1 and F2, this is your F1 and this is your F2. F1 and F2 may cancel each other now because 8Q is far from capital Q, so this force may be less in the previous case. So F1 now equal to F2, so they cancel each other at this position. Let us apply Coulomb's law now. So let the distance of capital Q from Q1 is x centimeter, and we have distance between Q1 and Q2 is L centimeter. Then distance between Q2 and Q is x minus L centimeter. X minus L centimeter. So distance x may be taken from Q1 or Q2. Now F1 is equal to F2. F1 means force between 8Q and Q, 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 8Q into capital Q, distance is x cm square, that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Charge of Q2 is minus 2Q, so take the magnitude 2Q into Q by distance is x minus L cm square h square. Now this implies 4 by x square, that is equal to 1 by x minus L square, or x minus L by x square, that is equal to 1 by 4, taking positive square root, x minus L by x, that is equal to 1 by 2, or 2x minus 2L, that is equal to x, or 2x minus x is equal to 2L. So this is the distance of third charge capital Q from first charge, from charge Q1 equal to plus 8Q, or you may find that is x minus L, that is 2L minus L equal to L. So this is the distance of third charge from Q2 equal to minus Q. Next problem is a certain charge capital Q is divided into two parts, small q and capital Q minus small q, which are then separated by a certain distance. What must Q be in terms of capital Q to maximize the electrostatic force of repulsion between the two charges? That means a certain charge Q, given charge is Q, it can be divided into two parts. One is small q and other part is Q minus Q. and they are separated by a certain fixed distance. So what is the possible parts of these two so that the force between them should be maximum? So in calculus we know that y is maximum relative to x if dy by dx is equal to 0 and second derivative is negative, d square y by dx square is less than 0. So this is the case for maximum. So we apply here. So now force between these two charges is, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 if the two charges are placed in air. This is q into q minus q by, suppose the distance is d square. So that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 y by d square, where we choose y equal to q into q minus q. Now df by dq, that is equal to 0. This means 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into d square, that is constant. So dy by dq, that is equal to 0, or d by dq of q into q minus q, that is equal to 0, or d by dq into q minus q square, this is equal to 0, or this is q minus 2q is equal to 0, or 2q equal to capital Q, or q equal to q by 2. So one part is first part, that is q by 2, and second part, that is q minus q equal to q minus q by 2 is q by 2. The problem is, in this figure, three charged particles q1, q2 and q3 are lying on the straight line and are separated by distance d. Charge q1 and q2 are held fixed. Charge q3 is free to move but happens to be in equilibrium. Find q1 in terms of q2. q3 to be in equilibrium means net force acting on q3 due to q1 and q2 is equal to 0. That is F1 plus F2 must be equal to 0. So we use Coulomb's law. So K Q1 Q3 divided by 2D square, force between Q1 and Q3, distance is d plus d, that is 2d, plus F2, force between Q2 and Q3, that is K Q2 Q3 by d square is equal to 0, or K Q3 by d square is taking common, so inside the bracket, that is Q1 by 4 plus Q2 is equal to 0, or Q1 by 4 plus Q2 is equal to 0, or Q1 by 4 equal to minus Q2, or Q1 equal to minus 4 Q2. The answer. Two identical conducting balls, each carrying a charge Q, are suspended from a common point by the strings of equal length L. Find the charge and mass of each ball if the angle between the strings is 2 theta in equilibrium. So these are the two strings suspended from the common point. The ball has mass m each and charge Q is at equilibrium. The angle between the two strings is 2 theta. Theta is the angle between any string with the vertical. The two balls are separated by distance x. Three forces acting on each ball. One is tension T along the string. Other is repulsive electrostatic force Fe, and weight of the ball mg vertically downward. Let's draw the pivot diagram. This is Fe and this is T and this is mg. T can be resolved into two components. Vertical component is T cos theta and horizontal component is T sin theta. So net force acting on each ball is 0. That is T plus Fe plus mg is equal to 0. In component form, net force along x-axis is equal to 0. This implies T sin theta is positive. T sin theta minus Fe is equal to 0, or Fe is equal to T sin theta. Similarly, net force along vertical direction is also equal to 0. This implies T cos theta is upward, which is positive, mg is downward, so minus mg is equal to 0. This implies mg equal to T cos theta. Now dividing these two, Fe by mg, that is equal to T sin theta by T cos theta, this is equal to tan theta. So Fe by mg equal to tan theta, or Fe is equal to mg tan theta. Now force of repulsion between two balls Fe is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q into Q, that is Q square, by the separation distance, that is x square. Therefore 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q square by x square equal to mg tan theta. Now x equal to, so we draw the vertical line here. It bisects the line joining the two charges. So this angle is theta and this is L. So this half distance is L sin theta and this is also L sin theta. So x equal to 2L sin theta. So this implies 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q square by 2L sin theta whole square, that is equal to mg tan theta, or Q square equal to 16 pi epsilon 0 mg L square sin square theta tan theta, or Q equal to square root of 16 pi epsilon 0 mg L square sin square theta tan theta. So from this formula m can also be calculated. Similarly, m is Q square cot theta by 16 pi epsilon 0 g L square sin square theta. This is the answer. This problem is exercise 2U. The answer is tan q theta by 1 plus tan square theta is equal to q square by 8 pi epsilon 0 mgl square. This problem is similar to example 6. Here the charges are q and 2q. Two identical charges, each are kept at a distance r from each other. A third charge q is placed on the line joining them such that all the three charges are in equilibrium. Find the third charge. Find the magnitude of q. Charge capital Q are placed at the position 1 and 2 respectively, and the third charge small q is placed at the point 3. So small q will be equilibrium if the forces between capital Q and small q and other capital Q with small q are equal and cancel each other. The third charge q must be of negative sign so that q attracts small q and capital Q on the other side also attracts small q. Now for q to be in equilibrium, if k q into q by x square, force between charge capital Q and small q is equal to force between small q and capital Q which is on the other side, k q by distance is r minus x square, or r minus x square, that is equal to x square, or r minus x is equal to x, or x equal to r by 2. Again, for the charge q, for q at position 2 to be in equilibrium, if force k q into q, capital q square by distance is r square is equal to force between small q and capital Q, that is k q by r minus x whole square, or this is r minus x square, r minus x square is equal to, this is q into r minus x square, that is equal to r square into q, or r minus x by r whole square is equal to q by q. So x equal to r by 2 here, r minus r by 2 divided by r square, that is equal to q by q, or this is 2r minus r, that is r by 2 by r, that is 1 by 2, 1 by 4 equal to q by q, or q equal to q by 4. Here q must be negative, so q equal to minus q by 4. This problem is similar to example 8. Here we take plus q and plus 4q. They are separated by a distance L. For the system to be in equilibrium, the net force on each charge should be 0. The third charge should be negative and it should be placed near Q between plus Q and plus for Q. Name it, this is your 1 and this charge is 2 and this charge is 3 and this is your capital Q. For equilibrium of charge 3, for equilibrium of charge Q position at 3, we have 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by x square. Distance between 1 and 3 is x, that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q, this is your Q and this is your 4Q, Q into 4Q by distance is L minus x square, or L minus x by x whole square, that is equal to 4, or L minus x by x, that is equal to 2, or from this, that is 2x, that is equal to L minus x, or 3x equal to L, or x equal to L by 3. Now for equilibrium of the charge Q at position 1, for equilibrium of Q at position 1, we have 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q into 4Q, that means force between Q and 4Q, divided by distance is L square is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 small q and capital Q into Q by this distance is x square. This is for equilibrium of the plus Q small q at position 1. So now Q equal to 4Q by x minus L square. 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 cancel, and your small q also cancel, and this is your capital Q, x square is goes to here side, this side, so that is x by L square, and we have x equal to L by 3, so x by L equal to 1 by 3. So 4Q into 1 by 3 square, that is equal to 4Q by 9, or Q equal to, that is we have to find capital Q, so Q equal to 4Q by 9. So this is your capital Q, Q equal to minus 4 by 9Q. We introduced the sign here negative. This must be negative sign for to have an equilibrium. 3 point charges Q are placed at 3 vertices of an equilateral triangle of side L. What is the magnitude of electric force on any charge due to the other two? The situation is like this. So this is an equilateral triangle. Its side is L and charges Q, Q, Q. 3 charges are placed at the 3 vertices of the triangle. Now, what is the force on any charge due to the other two? So suppose we consider this charge. So force on this charge due to charge 1, that is along this direction, along the line, and it is outward. Suppose this is your F1. Similarly, force on the charge Q due to this charge is along this direction, that is F2. Now the resultant of F1 and F2 is F, that is the diagonal of the parallelogram. So now this angle is 60 degree. So the angle between F1 and F2 is also 60 degree. So now F is equal to square root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2 F1 F2 cos 60 degree. So this is 2 F1 square, because F1 is equal to F2, they are equal in magnitude, plus 2 F1 square cos 60, that is half. So this is equal to 3 F1 square root. So this is root 3 F1. F1 equal to force between any two charges. So that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q square by L square. So F equal to root 3 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q square by L square. Three-point charges, each of value q, are placed on three vertices of a square of side L. What is the magnitude of the force on a point charge of value minus q placed at the center of the square? So we consider a square of side L. Three point charges are placed here. Suppose this is your charge q, this is your charge q, and this is your charge q. Three charges placed at three corners, and other is vacant. This corner is vacant. Now if we put a charge at this point, then net force due to the four charges at the center of the square is 0. This is the center. If we put here, suppose here we put a charge q, the net force at this point is 0. So force due to these three charges, these are the forces. Here we place in negative charge here minus q. So force between q and minus q, that is attractive towards each other. This is the force. Similarly, force at minus q due to this q is this mass, and force at minus q due to this is this. So these are the three forces. If we put the third charges, a fourth charges here, then force is along this direction. So sum of these four forces must be equal to 0. So force due to three charges at on minus q is F. So the F is the force on minus q due to plus q due to three charges, each of charge q, and small f is the force on minus q due to the fourth charge q. So F plus F must be equal to 0. This implies F equal to minus F. So taking magnitude, mod F equal to mod of minus F, that is equal to F. So what is F? F means force between minus q and q, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q square by this distance. This is your L by root 2 O to this charge. So L by root 2 square. So this is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 to q square by L square. is equal to 1 by 2 pi epsilon 0 q square by L square. Consider three charges q1, q2, q3 each equal to q are the vertices of an equilateral triangle of side L. What is the force on the charge q at the centroid of triangle? ABC is an equilateral triangle of side L. Three charges are placed at three vertices. Centroid is O. Capital Q is placed at the point O. Then we have to find the net force at the point O. Now F1. F1 is the force exerted by Q1 along AO. F2 is the force exerted by Q2 at O along BO. And F3 is the force exerted by Q3 at O along CU. Now from geometry, AD is equal to root 3 by 4 L and AO is equal to BO is equal to CO, that is 2 by 3 AD, that is equal to 2 by 3 into root 3 by 4 L, that is equal to 1 by root 3 L. Now magnitude of force F1 equal to magnitude of force F2 is equal to magnitude of force F3, that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Charge is Q into capital Q by distance is AO square, so L by root 3 square, that is equal to 3 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q by L square. Resultant of F2 and F3 is, that is along OA. So mod of F2 plus F3 is given by parallelogram law, that is equal to square root of F2 square means F square, so this is suppose F, plus F3 square is also F square, plus 2F into F and cos 120 degree. This angle is 120 degree, and this is equal to F. We choose a unit vector r cap, that is along OA. So resultant of F2 and F3 is along r cap, so we can write F2 plus F3 equal to magnitude is F and unit vector is r cap, and F1 vector, that is equal to its magnitude is F and that is along AO, means AO cap, opposite to r cap. R cap is along OA, but it is along AO, so we write here minus r cap. The resultant force is F1 plus F2 plus F3, that is equal to F r cap minus F r cap. This is equal to F into r cap minus r cap, that is equal to 0. So the net force at capital Q on capital Q at the centroid is 0. Next problem. Consider the charges Q, Q and minus Q placed at the vertices of an equilateral triangle of side L. What is the force on each charge? F is equal to, what is F? F is the magnitude of force between any two charges. This is Q, this is Q minus Q, and this is Q minus Q. Both are equal. And F is equal to F12. This is your F12. F12 means force exerted by Q2 on Q1. F12 equal to F13. This one is equal to F21 is equal to F23, that is equal to F31 equal to F32, and this F is given by Coulomb's law 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q square by L square. Q square means Q into Q and distance is L. Now mod of F1 must be equal to mod of F2. Mod of F1, that is equal to mod of F2, and mod of F1 can be found from this parallelogram. That means F12 square plus F13 square plus 2 F1 2 into F13 into angle 2 into, that is angle is 120 degree. So this is square root of F12 square means F square, F13 square means F square plus 2 F into cos 120 degree. Cos 120 is minus of, so this is equal to F. That is magnitude of F1 and magnitude of F2 are equal. Then find F3. So magnitude of F3 is equal to, that is also found from this parallelogram, square root of F31 square means F square, F32 square means F square plus 2 F into F and cos 60 degree. Angle between these two, F31 and F32 is, that is 60 degree. So this is equal to root 3F. So these are the magnitudes. Now F1 vector, that is equal to, its magnitude is F into unit vector along F1, and this unit vector along F1 is, that is along BC. So along BC we introduce a unit vector R1 cap. So here write R1 cap. R1 cap is a unit vector along BC. Similarly F2 vector means this vector is parallel to AC. So here along AC we introduce a unit vector R2 cap. So F2 equal to, its magnitude is F into R2 cap. Then F3 vector, magnitude of F3 vector is root 3F, and unit vector along F3 vector is, that is n cap. We introduce as n cap. So into n cap. N cap is a unit vector along the bisector of this angle. So now we add these three vectors, F1 plus F2 plus F3, that is equal to F R1 cap plus F R2 cap plus root 3F n cap. Now unit vector R2 cap is along AC. So minus R2 cap means, that is along CA. Unit vector along BC is R1 cap. Unit vector along CB is minus R1 cap. So minus R2 cap, that is the component of n cap along this direction. That means n cap cos 30 degree. Component of n cap along CA, that is along minus R2 cap. So cos 30 is root 3 by 2 n cap. So R2 cap is equal to minus root 3 by 2 n cap. Similarly R1 cap is equal to minus root 3 by 2 n cap. So So F1 plus F2 plus F3, that is F1 R1 cap means minus root 3 by 2 F n cap plus F2 minus root 3 by 2 F n cap plus F3 is, that is root 3 F n cap, and this is equal to minus root 3 F n cap plus root 3 F n cap, that is equal to 0. Sum of three forces of these three charges is equal to 0.